Happy Friday, everybody. Thank you so much for downloading or streaming the Be Our Guest podcast. Today, we have a fun show lined up for you. Pam Forrester is joining Ricky and myself, and she's the star of the show because we talk about her recent sailing to Lighthouse Point at Lookout Key down in the Bahamas. It's the newest private island for Disney Cruise Line. So she sailed down there on the Disney Magic, so we get her thoughts on Disney's original cruise ship from back in 1998 and all the updates that have happened to this great ship. And then we talk about, her thoughts of her day at this great island, including the beaches and how beautiful they are. She could not stop talking about the beauty of these beaches, the cabana experiences, the dining. She just talked about all the great dining options they've brought to this island and how Disney really embraced the culture of the Bahamas and made it as authentic as possible, so that you not only have a great beach day, but you also walk away appreciating the culture of the Bahamian folks down there. So you're going to get this great show today to give you a little taste of what's to come if you're sailing to this newest destination with Disney Cruise Line. Don't forget, our show brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan your next Disney cruise or any Disney adventure out there. All the details are over today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. That one extra click supports everything we do throughout the year. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you so very much to our Patreon supporters. You guys make all these shows possible. Couldn't do it without you. So thank you so much for that. You can support us as well. Just $5 a month is all we ask. And you'll get a bonus show every week for that support. So coming over this week, it's called Mike in the Midwest, patreon.com/Be Our Guest Podcast.
Ready to take a trip to the world? You found the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. This is where your memories come front and center on our podcast stage.
Welcome to episode 2509 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Friday to you. Doesn't that sound good? Happy Friday. Gotta like that. We've got a great weekend staring us right in the face, but we're going to get you there by talking some Disney Cruise Line. And we're going to talk about the newest, hottest destination in the Bahamas. That's right. We're looking at Lookout Key at Lighthouse Point. Or is that Flip? Or I think I got it right. But
you did.
Okay, good. Look at that. See, I'm not even sure. Disney has me so on edge about all these new names. I mean, good Lord, they got to make everything long. Like it's Guardians of the Galaxy, Cosmic Rewind. It can't just be like the Cool Coaster. You know what I'm saying? Like, holy smokes. It used to just be like Screaming Eagle.
Just Cosmic Rewind.
Yeah,
Exactly.
seriously, like at Six Flags, it was like Rush Street Flyer or like Screaming Eagle or the Log Ride. You know, like when I was a kid, it was the Log Ride. You know, like duh. You know, this is hard. Anyway, that's why we're here, because we're professionals, right? We're going to talk Disney Cruise Line today. We're going to talk about all the fun you can have at this new destination from somebody who's been there. And Ricky and I are just going to kind of nod our heads and be like,
and drool about wishing that we were there. Yeah.
Amen. We're going to be like, that sounds awesome. So Ricky, she's from the mouseforless.com and a DisneyWorldAfterAll.com. Ricky, happy Friday. Hope you have a great weekend in store. What's up?
Thank you. Yeah, it's summer, man. So it's definitely, we're in the middle of it. Let's just say it's crazy things happening. Lots of things moving this summer is definitely the case. So who knows what this weekend has in store for us?
For real.
Probably something fun. So
yeah. I know that's where I am. So I've been watching every Saturday the Disney Fantasy Sail Away on PortCanaveralWebcam.com, which I'll be doing tomorrow at about 3:45 my time. And just 2 more times, and I'll be waving to all you people. You watch me. I'll wave to the little camera at Fish Lips and saying, bye, everybody. I'm heading to the Eastern Caribbean. I can't wait.
Awesome.
Oh, I love sailing Disney Cruise Line. I'm almost there. Scotty G, by the way, right now, he is in Europe spending pounds in, I forget what they're called, dinars or something, but he's on his European vacation because he's a vlogger now. So I cannot wait to see all his adventures. Going to Norway. He said he's going to a place where the daytime lasts 22 hours at one of his destinations.
Nice.
he's going to be so messed up when he gets home because he's going straight to work when he gets, he's going, by the way, just so everybody knows, I think people know this. His vacation is lasting 19 days.
Whew.
19 days. And he's going to go straight to work when he gets home the next day.
It's going to be a tough re-entry.
Exactly. I cannot wait to text him that day when he goes back to work. It's going to be classic. Anyway, so yeah, it's going to be fun. We're going to be following him on social media at Epscott. So give him a follow because he bought the internet. He changed his phone plans. He's done it all. It's going to be fun. So he's over in Europe somewhere. So Godspeed to all of Europe and England and Norway and all the Scandinavia. Heads up, the gardeners are on the way. But Pam Forrester, she's going to be the star of the show. Coder the Magic for Less Travel, freshly returned from the hottest place in the Bahamas. Pam, what's up? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. I'm glad to be here and get to talk about Lookout K at Lighthouse Point. I did mention it took me weeks to get that lineup right, that name correct. I think that's like, I don't know why, it's just the two L's, right?
Yes.
Why did Disney do that to us? The two L's. Oy, oy, oy. Plus, I kept wanting to say, even though I said Castaway Key for years and years and years and years and years and years,
how come it's
somehow
not
Lookout Key? Right. Somehow I wanted to say Lookout K, and because that's how it's spelled, and so whatever. But yes, I'm here. I'm so glad I get to share my experience, and hopefully, it will entice some of you all to go experience it for yourself. I know we have a lot of people booked on upcoming cruises that stop here. So.
Absolutely. By the way, we have a listener. We have a VIP in the audience today. Mr. Lawrence Wilson is on Facebook, tuned in. He gave us some information. Says this happens in Sweden, Scotland, and Cardiff. Sunset is 10:11 p.m. and rises at 4:30 a.m. Now. Dang. This gentleman who we're super proud of, this is one of my wife's former students. And I also had him for science class. When he was a sixth grader, he was a handful, but he's awesome. And I will tell you this, we think because we have been tracking his activity as he globetrots. Now, I don't want to call him out, but I think we know this because I think he is touring with a certain entertainer around the world. I'm just saying. So,
wow.
LW, we're super proud of you, buddy, but we think we've got you pegged as to why you are where you are all the time. And that's all I'm going to say, but proud of you, buddy. Keep it up. We love our former students. Our former students have done so much more than we've ever done, and it just makes us so proud that we're still here in St. Louis, but our students are they're seeing the world and changing the world. And that
we should all be a handful in sixth grade, really.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to tell a quick Lawrence Wilson story. We're here while he's here.
Lawrence, you're going to get called out.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is the best one ever. This is what we dealt with as sixth grade teachers, right? This is before we got married. So Lawrence loved gel pens. Do you guys remember like in the 90s?
Oh gosh, yes.
Gel pens, like they had the different colors. So like, we banned gel pens in sixth grade.
How dare you?
Because they'd be like in these hard to read colors, right? But like if you erase them with an eraser, they would end up blue or something. Like Lawrence did all this work, like he would write in all these crazy colors, but he would take the eraser and do all this work and it would come out blue. So you couldn't argue because it was, he knew I was going to tell this story because like in the end, it would come out just like a regular piece of paper. Like he wrote it in blue, but he did all this extra work to like write it in all these cool colors. And then
Lawrence,
before he turned it,
go.
he would erase it. Like I'm like,
he's like, who's going to tell me I'm not going to use
my gel pen? Ha sucker, I got you. I love it.
It was like, awesome. I remember this 25 years later because it was classic. I mean, yeah, it was, and man, he had the crew with him. Like I remember his crew that he had in that class. God, that's why I love teaching back in the day. They were the best. Anyway, we got to get to the Disney talk, but Lawrence, I appreciate you, man. I hope you're doing great. And we're really proud of you. That's what teaching was all about. But Pam, let's talk about Lighthouse Point. So you said, first of all, give us a little nuts and bolts of that ship called the Disney Magic. We're a little curious about that. What was that like? Classic ship, first one, yeah.
It had been a while since I'd been on the Magic. I think since its reimagination, when they put in O'Gill's and Aqua Dunk and all of that. I think it had been that long since I had been on it because I've been the other ships.
It's a long time. Yeah.
No, the other ships I've been on a lot. So I was really glad to get back on one of the classic ships. I know, Mike, you're sad when they removed that carpet that had fluorescent.
That was on the Wonder. Well, I don't know if it was on the Magic too, because I have
I
pictures
think
on the Wonder for sure.
I know. I think it was on both
Yeah,
at one time.
Beat
I'm not
Street.
100% sure,
Yeah.
but I think so. But anyways, that entertainment district, I really do like Keys and that. And I think Palo has such a classic look on those two ships, the Magic and the Wonder. It's a little different than it is now. But I really enjoyed being on the classic ships. I do. I will still say my favorite ship is still the Wish. It just is. That's the ship that I feel meets my needs as a cruiser the best. But I love that Disney has so many different ships so that people can experience each and find the one that works best for them. So I won't tell anybody else what their favorite ship should be. But I was really glad that this ship was going to Lookout Key. I almost said Lookout K. I actually had to stop and think about it. Why? I don't know. But anyways, I really was glad that this ship went there. It really gave us a great opportunity to see it. We were some of the first guests that were on the island, and we learned that for many of the cast, this was their first time stepping on the island too. So it was just really such an amazing thing to see. And the thing I want to mention first before I start anything else is my pictures of the water did not even do it justice.
That's insane. Your pictures are so blue, and I can't even imagine more blue.
It just didn't. It just didn't do it. It's like when you're trying to capture a sunset, you just never get the colors. And that's really how it felt when we were there. That blue, it's the most beautiful blue and kind of pinky, peachy sand. It's a great combination. And so if nothing else, it is worth traveling to see that. But there are so many other things. So yes.
Yeah, I know Steve, your husband, commented about the color of the water. Like, I can't describe it, and I didn't pop this, and I didn't,
right,
because this isn't Photoshop. I'm not using Photoshop Light on my mobile device. This is what it is, but it's even not that. It's hard to describe, and we had this discussion, actually, if you heard the replay of Sunday night's call-in show, because we were talking with a listener that called in, and we were just having conversations. Like, he's a third party, hasn't been there. We just talked about the coverage that we've seen so far on social media. And, he talked about this place, it's kind of like Walt Disney said with Disneyland, like early on, is that, as beautiful as we're seeing right now, this is like year one, like month one, right? It's going to get more beautiful as these trees and kind of everything kind of grows in and becomes more lush, right? I mean, did you kind of see that as the island too? I mean, it's nice now, but I mean, are things kind of still going to get more lush as things go on?
Yeah, it's really a natural paradise. And unlike Castaway Cay, this is not an island that Disney owns in whole. This is an island where they have part of it that they are working with the Bahamian government to bring sort of this natural paradise. And I think that's an important part of the story that maybe people should learn, is that there was really an attention to detail in this space and collaboration with the Bahamian people to make sure that they were going to follow not only all this responsibility in terms of environmental concerns and whatnot, but also to represent the Bahamian people and the Bahamian culture in a way that was really true and authentic to them. And hearing that, during the cruise, we actually got to hear this panel talk, and it was all these Bahamian folks that were involved in this project for years as they did this. And we're talking artists and musicians, and a woman who was involved in Junkanoo, part of the Bahamian government was involved in this, and just so many people involved in this. And each one of these people said when they got off the island that day for the very first time with us, that it brought tears to their eyes because they felt seen, they felt represented. Aww. They felt like Disney did that good of a job doing it. So awesome. I just, I don't want to tell people you got to do history before you go on your vacation, but it's worth knowing because you will get more from the island when you understand some of the traditions. And I found that to be an important part of the journey there.
So
That's amazing.
real quick though, so you got to do things because I want to talk about like what you're going to experience as kind of the traditional cruise, like the food, the beaches, that kind of stuff. But before we step away from that history, like with the Junkanoo, like what did you kind of culturally get to experience? Just a couple more minutes on that, because I think that is something that is uniquely Disney. I don't know that you know, like I remember going to, you know, Royal Caribbean's private island, went to Labadee, you know, and I mean, I had a good time. I did some kind of crazy little like steel coaster that was kind of rickety and we zip lined and I mean, and there was, you know, there was like a fire dancer guy there. I mean, there was some cultural things going on, but I don't remember like it being like a focus of, and Disney just takes things kind of to the next level with authenticity and storytelling and stuff. Did you kind of see that integrated?
They do. I mean, I know that the Disney company in general just feels a responsibility to authentically tell a story, right? They are a company that is all about storytelling and all about connecting people. And I think that through this, they felt a responsibility to do right by the people and tell that story. And I think that was really important. As one of the women on stage was sharing, she said, we're always really excited when a big company comes to the Bahamas, right? And we're going to have this opportunity to share with people. But then they also have to think, well, who's going to benefit from this? Is it just going to be that company,
Yeah.
or is it going to be the Bahamian people?
Because
Is there
it could
going
be,
to be
they don't want,
destruction?
they don't want to be exploitive, right? I mean, because
Exactly.
how many times
Exactly.
have like little island nations seen that in the history?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that that is something that Disney does so well when they're telling a story, that they research and embrace things that probably most of us will never really understand the depth of the importance of that. But it does make you get on the island and feel the authenticity in that. Like it felt like a very authentic beach vacation. And I love Castaway Key too. It is very much a beach destination, right? But there's something that feels a little more natural, a little more authentic, and a little more thoughtful when you get to Lookout Key.
Okay, so let's walk through the experience of the traditional.
Let's address the
Yes.
elephant in the room, my
Yes,
friend.
literally walking through. Yes.
You know, you've heard, you've seen aerial
Hey,
photos.
I'm injured right now and I can't do the 7-mile run to get to the beach. I mean, at least you get a medal at the end, correct? I mean, you get your 10K medal, right? Please. I'm just playing.
So we've all seen pictures of the bridge that you walk when you get off the ship to get to the island. I will tell you, we measured. It is less than half a mile. And I think that it feels very similar to the walk that you do when you get off the ship at Castaway Key, if you're walking to the family beach and not taking the tram. And I can't tell you how many people I see walk to Castaway Key and not take the tram because there are photo opportunities.
I do. I mean, I never
along the
take the
way.
tram
Yeah,
because I mean,
I know.
I'm a step person, but that's
Right.
I'm an idiot.
I know. So there, we saw it. Since we were there, they've added a lot of different things. First, they've added some water stations and some umbrellas and some benches, and I expect to see other improvements in this space. But if this walk is something that you feel you won't be able to do, you have accessibility needs or other needs, stop by guest services. You actually can register. They have golf carts that can take you across that bridge, and you will be given a time to actually return. You don't just roll up and wait in line. They give you sort of a 30-minute window to appear for that. So it doesn't have to be an issue to get to there. But I also want to say too, that one of the reasons why there is this bridge is because of some environmental reasons that Disney and the Bahamian government worked on, because they didn't want to damage things like the coral reefs and have the ships getting that close. Some of you may know that there's also another cruise line that has a destination port on this island. You have to tender to do this. So it was really quite a concession for Disney and the Bahamian government to come to an agreement that allowed them to have a place that the ship actually got to dock. So that was a really a cool thing to see that happened. It really just allows the fact that the ship does not have to pull so close to the island and therefore damage some of that natural the water underneath, all of that. I am not a marine biologist. I'm sure that one can tell you exactly what gets saved, but they felt like it was important. And one of their keys is to make sure that they are addressing things like these environmental concerns. So that's why the bridge is there. They are already making improvements. We've had agents on other cruises since then who have said they had water stations, they had other things set up. So I think that we'll continue to see things like that.
That's right.
That's good.
I mean, every cruise is going to get better because it's feedback and it's experience. I mean, it's experience. This is a brand new destination. I mean, of course, I've had Castaway Cay, but every destination has its challenges and its, things. I love that they're learning. That's great. All right.
too.
So you do the 7-mile hike and you get to the tram. I'm just kidding.
And we were excited to get there. We really were. And there is a tram at that point that takes you to the family beach and Serenity Bay and whatnot. And I will tell you, one of the first things that I thought was really remarkable was there are all these sort of boardwalk piers that are built in that area, again, for you to walk on before you get to the beach. And again, this was to address some of the environmental issues that came up from other things being there. I think, again, this is going to allow the sands and the beach to continue to move the way it should, the foliage to continue to grow, all of that. But then the other thing that hit me when we got there was the art that is everywhere on this island. It is colorful. When you're eating at the eating locations, you look up, it's on the ceiling. It is on the the outside. There are, in addition to there being a souvenir market where you're going to find, of course, your Disney things, there's also another market where they have some Bahamian crafts there as well, where you can buy those. And they had these adorable purses that feature Disney characters on it, like straw woven purses with Disney characters. Now, these aren't the janky Disney characters that you see like when you're in New York City, right? You see some of the merchandise and the characters that you're like, who is that supposed to be? Is that supposed to be Mickey Mouse? Like, it doesn't look like Mickey Mouse.
That's one-eyed Mickey.
Right? These are beautiful hand woven purses that do such a great job doing this. But again, it's just like part of the culture there. And they had some of the folks who live in that area do these kind of things. So that was really cool to see that as well. But the star of the show is really the ocean and the beach. I mean, I kept going back to the beach. I kept going to being like, okay, what is it about this beach that feels so much more natural and authentic to me? And you know what I think it was? On the family beach at Castaway Cay, there are chairs upon chairs upon chairs lined up, right? Mm-hmm. Where we were sitting, there were 2 rows of chairs. 2. That's it. There was a set of chairs in front of us, and then the row that we were sitting in. And the chairs were really far apart. And I felt like we almost had sort of our own private beach destination. Like, that was the part that was really cool from it. I took a picture and I looked out, and like the people that were sitting in front of us weren't even sitting there. It was just their chair, the umbrella, and that beautiful ocean. And that was, really such a cool thing.
Are there a lot of umbrellas and things like that on?
Tons.
Okay, good.
Each set of chairs has an umbrella.
Nice.
Just like it does at Castaway Cay. So
yes,
they're just much further apart, which really sort of made for a very cool, authentic experience. Again, I know I'll keep using words like authentic because I think that's the word that really describes it better than anything else. It was really authentic. But yeah, I know what Mike wants to ask about, and it's about the food.
Of course.
I do.
I mean, he's going to ask you about,
there was one item in particular that I did see that they had the spicy chicken sandwich. Which
they did. I was here to report. Dude, they have the spicy chicken sandwich, right?
That thing rocks my world. I love that thing.
Yeah.
And some really cool locations. So first of all, after you do the bridge walk, right, which we'll just call it the bridge walk from this point forward.
You're gonna be hungry when you get done with it, so you're gonna need to go get some barbecue. Yeah.
But there's a little location right there that actually has, right after you walk across the bridge, before you get on the tram, it has cold brew and specialty coffees. It has refreshers and Dole Whips, and it has draft beer
Oh my
right
God.
there at the end of the bridge. You earned it, my friend.
You did.
Stop
Yes.
by and get yourself something. I
Yes.
mean,
Yes.
you have to stop there. They have some more, like there are more locations there to get different foods, and they did have some different foods. So the main eating place at Castaway Key is Cookies and Cookies 2, right?
Yep.
And then there's the Serenity Bay. Well, they have True Barbecue, True Barbecue 2.
Why not?
Disney.
Because they're like, let's see if we can get Pam to pronounce these.
Exactly.
Absolutely wrong. And then they also have a barbecue on Serenity Bay as
Nice.
well.
True barbecue tree.
Yes,
Tree.
I know, right? And the cool thing about I felt these here was that there were all these different sort of locations where you could go right to get what you want. Like there was a fish station, a fish window. There was a chicken and seafood rice bowl windows. There was a beach barbecue window. And then there was a barbecue ribs and rotisserie chicken window.
Nice.
So there were all these little places that you would go to do that. And I felt like the chicken and seafood rice bowl was a completely different and new offering.
Yeah,
for
I
a
don't
Disney
think I've
Cruise Line.
seen that on. Yeah,
They don't.
That's amazing. That's
I know,
delicious.
so that was
too.
cool. I know that part was really cool. But then they have all your favorites from Castaway Key. They have burgers and corn and chicken and fish and all of those things, and Mike's beloved spicy chicken sandwich.
Can I just say though, the one thing that I noticed that I think is very cool about the dining on is the fans that are on the tables, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So because it is a more natural habitat, and I don't know what Disney does to keep the flies away from Castaway Key,
Yes.
but there were some flies around, and they have these little fans that are there to keep the flies off of your food
I love
when
it.
you're sitting there to eat.
I want one at every restaurant that I eat at now here. I'm going to go buy a fan, and anytime I go eat outside, I'm putting that fan on the middle of my table. I was like, that's so genius.
I know, I
So,
agree. I thought the
why-
exact same thing. I'm like, why do restaurants around
Not do
here that
this?
have an outdoor place not have the fly thing?
I'm
I didn't
buying
understand
one.
it.
I'm
Right.
totally buying one, and it's going in my purse, and I'm taking it
Oh
with
my
me.
gosh.
It was a great idea. No, for sure. They also had some different food too. In addition to the bowls, they had fried okra was an option there, and they had plantains, and they had yucca fries,
Ooh.
and they had this like grilled pineapple salsa, which I don't know that I've seen that at Castaway Key either.
That sounds
Yum.
good though. Yeah,
All
I'd try
that
It
sounds
that.
was. It was
amazing.
really good. That part, I was like, oh, I'm all over this. So that was good. They had a lot of different beverage locations, and some of them even had smoothies and stuff like that, which
Wow.
I thought was good. That was cool. But the other thing was when you ordered a drink or when you got a drink, it came in a reusable metal cup, which I thought was really
Ah.
interesting too. Another nod to making sure they're keeping the environment safe. So I really like that too.
Sounds like an
Awesome.
adult beverage. Like if you got an alcoholic
It was an
beverage.
adult beverage,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't drink the non-adult.
you
They
were
did-
there. You were there having a good time. No, that's important. So what? Okay, so like there are bars, obviously, like just like a Castaway. So a couple of those every so full, places.
Yes, and there were cast members coming along to take your drink order as well.
And they're bringing around like they're selling the water packages and so forth too.
They did. As soon as you got off, they were selling that. And you were able to exchange your cooler if you wanted to do that too. They had some beautiful bar locations. And I wanted to mention too, the barbecue on Serenity Bay actually serves the exact same food as the other two barbecues. So that was good to see. And the Serenity Bay eating location, again, has the most spectacular view of the water, which is a real departure from Castaway Key because it sort of sits there and you can't really see a whole
No.
lot there. So I thought that was really cool too.
What about like water sports and activities? Because like, Keswick Key has like the parasailing, the banana boats, the jet skis, all that kind of stuff. What about, they have all that stuff there? Because of the
So they
environmental
do
stuff?
not have that right now. That was not available there then. They are going to have a bike trail, which they were still working on at that point in time. And I think this bike trail is really going to be something that you're going to want to do because it's going to take you through all these natural areas of the island. They also had snorkeling, but I swear the day that we were there, we could see to the bottom like of the water. I don't know that
Yeah.
you need the snorkel.
That's good because I can't do the snorkels, man. I cannot breathe like in those things. So
You,
that's good.
this is what you'll have to do. You'll just have to look down.
That's good.
And you'll
And
be
be
able
like,
to
"Ooh,
see.
pretty."
Honest to God,
Yeah.
that's good because Mallory loves snorkeling. I'll be like, I'll go with you, and I'll look. I'll peek.
I know. Yes. So they do that. But I think eventually you may see some other water sports, but at this point in time, those were the ones that they had available. And if you have a cruise plan, just continue to look in your cruise planner to see what other options that they'll offer as time goes on. And I fully expect that more things will be offered in the future.
I agree. I
I
mean, I
agree
don't
with
think
you.
these two islands will be exactly the same. I mean, like Keswick Key has the 5K. I would doubt that this island has a 5K. I mean, maybe not.
Not
Well,
now.
are they going to have
but
one? I was thinking they
I
might
heard
not.
that they are going to have
really?
one. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, that's what I
Nice.
heard.
Great.
So I heard it's coming. We'll have to see what that looks like and where you'll be running through. The other thing is they have, like Castaway Key, they have cabanas. They have family cabanas, and they have the cabanas at Serenity Bay. The family cabanas are actually right after you get off walking the bridge. They're very close, within walking distance. You don't take a tram to them. There's actually a little dining area specifically for the cabanas that are going to offer the exact same foods that will be offered at True Barbecue, True Barbecue, True Barbecue, True.
And if you're an adult, true barbecue tree. It's ready to
Right,
go.
exactly. So that's a bonus. And then the Serenity Bay cabanas are, of course, right near the Serenity Bay area, so you'll be able to enjoy those as well.
So I mean, obviously you had your one day there, and you've had, at this point, how many times you've been to Castaway Key? I mean, you've probably put in a couple of weeks as far as days on
True.
Castaway Key. I mean, a lot of us have, visited Castaway Key for probably 7, 8, 9 days over our cruising life, because most of our Disney cruises do stop at Castaway Key for a day if you're going to the Bahamas or the Caribbean. What did it leave you with on that first? Because you got back on the Magic and you sailed, back to the States, and what did, because it's a different experience, but I mean, it's kind of like the Disney Cruise Line whole experience. Like, it's comfortable, but it's a little bit different when you're on a different ship. But what were your thoughts kind of as you left the island? What did it leave you with? That's what I always like to hear.
It really left me wanting more, wanting to experience more and do more. And there were just more things to do. So there were the things that are there at Castaway Key, right? There's a kids splash area. There's the location for the kids clubs and teens to play. There's the beautiful beach. There's all those things that you can do there. But then they also do things like, there was a parade on the island, and the parade is part of the whole Junkanoo celebration. And the Junkanoo is something that it's sort of the celebration of freedom that is part of the Bahamian culture. But they also do something on the island that is Junkanoo, which is they take junk and make it anew. It's kind of what it has evolved into. So there are activities where you can go and create like a Junkanoo mask, like is going to be done. And they had this Junkanoo parade that other people could join in, and they had all these fantastic musicians with these beautiful costumes doing that. They have the characters that are sort of dressed up in these really colorful costumes. The food and drink offerings were different enough that I'm like, I want to go back and do that again. Or I don't know, like, I don't think I got that, so I want to try that or do some of that. And it really just, if you're looking for a super relaxing day, this is going to be the thing that does it for you. I just, in some ways, it's like, it is so Disney, right? In all of the ways. Oh, and by the way, one thing I forgot to mention, the bathrooms are a huge upgrade on this island.
Ooh, that's
Yes,
good to know.
they are. They really are. I know, right? Not a lot. Yes, give that a dig. Because I mean, the ones on Castaway Key are fine,
Yeah.
but these are nice. These are nice. So I was really impressed with that. But I think that it feels so Disney in a way, and yet it doesn't. It
Mhm.
feels so much more than. It's sort of brought together sort of the best of what Disney's going to offer and the Bahamas are going to offer.
I love that.
And I think that's what I really enjoyed the most about it.
So final thing, a lot of these cruises will do Castaway Key and Lighthouse Point. So you think they complement each other well. There's going to be a few similar things, but you're going to get a different experience on if you do where you get to go to both islands, because a lot of these cruises, not a lot, but some, if you pick a itinerary that does both, you're going to have, just two different experiences on the islands, which is kind of fun. I mean, obviously both beach days, but a little different experience. Not just.
It's not the same thing twice.
Yeah,
it's not
which is I'm excited for that. I mean, I don't want the same thing twice.
Exactly. I agree. I think it's sort of like the private island 2.0, right? For Disney. It is that. They've made some improvements, they've made some changes. They're going to be making more. There's going to be more things to offer. And I think there is definitely a place for both of these in Disney's sort of repertoire of island experiences. I think that this sort of encompasses and sort of held on to some of the things that Castaway Key didn't. And I really appreciated those. I found myself really appreciating those. And if I've said it once, I'll say it 100 times. That water alone, the beach alone is worth seeing. It just is. You can't describe it. It's different. And it's beautiful.
Nice.
Moana, the ocean calls to me. I cannot wait.
Yes.
I mean, I get to see the Caribbean here soon. I just want to see an ocean. I want to see a boat. I don't even care at this point. I'm so close. It's so far. It's like I'm in that stretch where I just want to get on a boat. Anyway, awesome, Pam. Thanks for sharing, and have a great trip to, where are you going, Gatlinburg?
Gatlinburg, yes,
Gatlinburg?
Pigeon Forge.
Oh,
yes.
my gosh. Yes.
Go see Dolly.
We have, we're going to Dollywood. We have a friend whose daughter is getting married there, so we get to see that. And yes, we're going to go visit Dolly too.
Yeah,
of course.
Do not come back a Tennessee Volunteers fan. Come on, just telling you, because they will try to recruit you down there. Don't, if you come back singing Rocky Top next time we do a show, it'll be on MIZ, baby. All right, that's gonna do it for today's show. Don't forget, you can come talk Disney with us. We talk Disney all the time in the clubhouse. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Discord. We have a great time over there. We're talking about the next podcast cruise. So if you want the details, I'm not going to spill the beans, even though it's been announced by the time this show has been aired, but not by the time we're recording live. So I can't say anything right now. I almost did. I almost spoiled myself here, but I'm not.
Don't do it.
That was good. This time shifting stuff is hard. But come over to the podcast Discord channel. Again, beourguestpodcast.com/Discord. We have a channel for the podcast cruise, which has been announced by now if you're hearing it on the feed. Don't forget, our show is always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you take care of that next Disney adventure, and it's no additional cost to you. Then you're going to get great service every time, little goodies as well. And if you're sailing with Disney Cruise Line, here's the best part. You get to go to these great places, like Lookout Key at Lighthouse Point and Castaway Key and all these other great ports of call. Like I'm going to St. Thomas. I'm going to Tortola. You might go to the Med. You can go all over the world. But here's the thing. Onboard credits, it costs the same as booking directly with Disney Cruise Line. Little cash right there in your onboard account. Now, my rule, again, it's been hard and true. You cannot use that for gratuities. You probably can, but don't tell me about it. Use it for fun. Get drinks, get souvenirs, do a port adventure that you weren't going to do. Have fun with that money. And you know what? Just say, hey, this was a little bit extra. So just have some fun with that. But hey, you're going to pay the same and get great service, great tips as you're leading up to your cruise. Like, hey, don't forget to pack these things. Don't forget to have these documents when you get to the port so you can actually get on the boat. We make sure that the I's are dotted, the T's are crossed, and give you a little extra money to have fun with. I mean, win, win, win. And you support the show. Everybody wins. Right there. There's your sale. Come on over. magicforless.com. We'll be looking for you this weekend. Don't forget, use our Amazon affiliate link, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon, and please become a supporter of us on Patreon. $5 a month is all it takes, and you support us, and you get a bonus show every week called Mike in the Midwest. Coming over, patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. All right, I know what Pam's social media is. It's TMFLT Pam. Give her a follow.
Hey, you learned it.
I did. And Ricky,
It
I never
only
forget
says
Ricky.
it like, on the
see
screen,
it.
Mike.
It's called
I'm
it's her lower third right there, kind of.
Yeah, I'm just
thing.
saying it only says it.
Yes, and Ricky is at Ricky Nibs, RIKKINIBS. Give Scott also, he's not here, but he's in Europe, dude. So it's gonna be awesome. I'm just telling you, Scott, EPSCOT. Gotta follow that because he's probably driving on the wrong side of the road right now. If he's not on his cruise ship yet, I don't even know. So give him a follow, and Be Our Guest Mike is where I'm at. Instagram, Threads, and Twitter. All right, we're going to have our live call-in show Sunday night, so give me a call. I'm going to be, again, next week, we're going to have so many call-in shows. Sunday night, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. Then Monday, around 5:30 Eastern, phone lines will be back open for 2 shows. Mini trip reports, listener questions, whatever you want to talk about. That'll be the Wednesday and Friday shows. So, wow, we're going to have a lot of time together next week, and I'm counting on you guys. I'm counting on you. Let's do this. So, be there, please. I'm begging. Let's have fun. We 2,600 shows or so. We can do this. All right. So for Ricky and Pam, I'm Mike, wishing you a great weekend. Whatever you do, stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon.
You've been listening to the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. If you have questions, comments, or would like to be a guest on the show, please visit our website at beourguestpodcast.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you real soon.